5, 4, 3, 2. Alright guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris, Unholy Jesus. Yeah.
What up, gang? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Hijack, episode 204. Before we get started, if you guys want to get some official Media Hijack t-shirts like this one right here, you can head over to themediahijack.com, grab you some official t-shirts. And if you guys want to catch the replay for this live Twitch video, we're live here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. You guys can catch the replay on the following day on YouTube. Also, our audio listeners, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. We need some help big time.
Get it?
We need help. Please.
We need a like.
Leave a comment, something. Change the algorithms. I think we could do like one video where it goes viral, and it might help. It might help.
Damn, what we have to do? We have to show our butts. What we gotta do?
Show our buttholes.
Chocolate starfish.
No, last year, we did some feet.
Yeah.
Toe rings. Remember that?
Yes, man. We painted the nails.
Yep, you guys missed all of that. Yeah.
Poured syrup on our
Painted
feet.
the toe ring, got 3 million views. Come on.
Come on. What's not to love?
How did that happen? All right, guys. So, main topic for tonight, Chris Unholy. What do we got?
Right, tonight, kids, we're going to be talking about Peter Kürten, the vampire of Düsseldorf.
The Vampire of Düsseldorf. And before we start, kind of off topic, real quick. I'm so sorry, guys. But, this Friday, Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson on Netflix live. What are your picks for this fight before we continue?
I forgot this fight existed.
This Friday. I'm hyped up.
It's Friday? Okay,
this Friday, actually.
I ain't got nothing to do Friday. I'm actually free. Who do I want to win?
Who do you think is going to win? We all know who we want to win, but who you think is going to win?
Right. Yeah. I want Mike to win. Yeah, I want him to win.
I want him to win too, but I think it might be an early night, and I think Jake, he got that. He's young, and he hits hard too. He's a
big dude. I ain't gonna lie, he'll be a big ass guy. So
yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Jake doing it, but I think Jake might take it. It's gonna be a sad day.
I mean, outside the fact that Mike Tyson is straight up my all-time favorite fucking boxer. I even think he could beat Ali in his prime. That's how much I like Tyson.
I think so.
Fight me if you want to. I love Tyson, but
I think Tyson beats the majority of the new boxers right now in his prime.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn, he's damn Tyson the beast, man. All you gotta do is outlast him 3 rounds, and you got his ass. After that, he slams the brakes after 3 rounds. But outside of that, though, I need him to stop this bro culture, whatever the fuck this is. I don't know what you want to call it. But I would like him to pump the brakes on, put these kids in their place, man.
I don't know, man.
But he probably would get killed.
I kind of like Jake, dude.
My worst fear is that
I kind of like Jake.
My worst fear is that Jake punches him in a soft spot of his head and kills him.
No. What?
It kills Mike Tyson. That's my worst nightmare.
That's the worst thing.
That's the worst.
Put that in the universe now. Now they're.
No, I didn't mean like that.
Imagine that shit got manifested, and then we'd be like, "Hey, there's only one podcast in the world that even mentioned this."
Hey, you want to go viral, right?
You got all the heat.
Now you want to go viral? This is it. This is our road to success, right here.
I'm not main host. Chris main host.
It's him.
Take it. Take the title.
He killed Mike Tyson. I'm like, what?
Chris said it. All right. So, my predictions, I think Jake is going to win, but my heart wants Tyson to win. But I'm not. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I had a question before I forget. What time is the fight?
I think it's 8 Eastern. So maybe for you.
6 out here.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 o'clock Friday. Okay.
It's on Netflix too, which is crazy. Live on Netflix, and everybody has Netflix.
I didn't know it was gonna be on Netflix either. That's a shock. I thought it was gonna be on I don't know, fucking.
Yeah, it's like a new thing.
Okay.
All right, guys. Yeah, so I'm excited for that this Friday. All right, to the main topic, Chris Unholy Jesus.
All right, man. We're gonna be talking about this crazy son of a bitch named Peter Kürten,
Damn.
a vampire of Düsseldorf. This man is awful, boy. He one of the worst serial killers I've read about in a minute. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, man. So this is a German serial killer that came out, and he didn't come out. He existed around the early 1900s. His name is Peter Kürten. He tortured and killed at least 9 people and attempted to kill dozens more, and sometimes drank their blood like it was Kool-Aid. This man was slurping it up.
Wait, what year was this?
So this is early 1900s when he was just running through like Germany, just like murdering people, like and this asshole, he was coming back to the scene of the crime afterwards, getting like high off of people, like hearing like people talk about like, oh my god, like you hear that body, you know, that body got slaughtered over there. He's kind of like getting high off of like this, going back to the crime scene. He crazy. This man on just some different demon time. But yeah, so Peter Kürten, he was actually born on May 26, 1883 in Melheim am Rhein, to a poor family, and he was like 13. He's like actually the oldest of like 13 kids too, so he big family. And like I said, he was the oldest as well. Peter, while he lived with his family, he like, you know, got routine ass whoopings from his father, who was also an alcoholic. And this weird part started happening to him where his mother and father would, you know, have sex in a room and would force him to watch.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Peter, when he was a little boy, his parents were like, you know, abusive drunk father used to always beat him. And his parents would like have sex with him in front of him on purpose, force him to watch.
And how old was he?
Somewhere before like the age 10. He was a young age. He wasn't like no teenager. This is like little boy status.
Like 8, 9?
I'm assuming it was somewhere around there. That's when they really started getting to his ass. And he was just stuck in his household with all this abuse and whatnot and weird sexual stuff going on. It says at a young age, Peter began to show the world his violent side as he began to channel like his trauma and sexual frustrations. Peter participated in bestiality with dogs and local farm animals in the area.
God damn. That shit stretched far.
Man, it took a leap. And he started like having sex with stray dogs out there. Farm animals were going missing. But the weird, even crazier than this, what he was doing other than having sex with these animals, he was like stabbing them and killing them. And at the same time, while he was climaxing to help him get off.
Wow, what the hell?
He got off, yes. And so he was dumping his babies all over the place. And
how do you reach like a point like that? Like,
man, like I can only get off if I kill something.
Yeah, like something like that to happen is like for you to experience like so much in life, like you get so bored.
Yeah.
But in the 1900s, like what has he like experienced like that much to where he had to venture out into something that's so like far out there, like doing these things with these animals?
Well, it sounds like within his household. I mean, obviously, a lot of this stuff usually starts in the house.
Yeah.
So his father was alcoholic. Like I said, like he was forced to watch his parents have sex a lot of times. And that's just what I found. I'm pretty sure he's probably getting touched on in the house or whatever. You know, something awful may happen to him. Because hurt people when it's all said and done. And he probably somebody got messed up in the head and just went off the rails in an insane way, just kind of like to feed like this sexual appetite he had. And just regular sex wasn't doing it for him. He was like, yo, I'm gonna be stabbing you while I'm doing you animals. And this is when he's still a kid. Mind you, he's still a child, right? He's not even a full grown adult. He's still a kid doing this. And they say like also Peter also too later on too. Peter wound up claiming like at around the age of 9. And he's an adult. I'm just kind of going back and forth in time for a second. Peter also claimed at the age of 9 he had drowned 2 young boys, but there's like no evidence of that ever really happening. But I'm assuming around 8 or 9 is when he was on his own, bestiality adventures and whatnot. Like we said, like around 8 or 9 was probably when he got tapped into his crazy side.
Damn, that's so young to be doing that shit.
Man, yeah. Not only was he just banging animals, throughout his youth, Peter was also out as in and out. He was in and out of jail all throughout his youth for theft, arson, fraud, and even sexual assault. Just doing awful shit out there, even at a young age. Like I said, he was still in his youth.
Would SA be like considered like the R word too?
I guess. I don't know.
That makes so much sense.
They police that word heavily, man. It's police.
Yeah,
that's why
I was wondering because I listened to a podcast, right? They kept saying essay, and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? But I know they're talking about the R word. Yeah. But I was like, why are they saying essay? Okay, it makes sense.
I thought that pronounced like that wording of it. I always felt like that was the proper way to say it. Instead of saying like, man, you got graped. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, this is more the more adult term of it. Now
they kept saying say that. Essayed. I'm like, I was like, what is that?
Yeah, essay, like you mean like
Like I knew they're talking about the R word, but I was like, what does essay mean? So you're saying sexual assault? Like, oh, okay,
yeah,
makes
they police
sense.
the hell out there. And it's very sketch how you. I know YouTube presses
Yeah,
down on. I don't know
'cause
how.
you cannot say the R word. You get fucking
Yeah,
flagged instantly.
yo, man, they policing our voices.
Even F
Shit,
words, dude, you get flagged.
man,
That's why, like, shit, we said
everything,
F word like
man,
what over a minimum 100 times in one podcast.
easily, man. They
Like,
crack down on
nope,
that, man.
close the gate.
Man, we about to live in a
Don't send
G-rated
this video
world,
out no
boy.
more.
Right? Like, cut it off.
Yeah, damn.
But yeah, that's what I was saying. Essay, not essay like a vato, like essay like
Yeah,
the
yeah. Okay, I understand now. Thank you. Because I even went to ChatGPT. I was like, what did it talk about? And they couldn't explain it to me. And then when you said it, I was like, oh, shit. Okay, it makes sense.
The wires are like ding.
Yeah, like, it's connected. Thank you, sir.
All right, so then what else would I leave off at? Okay, so all right, so fast forward, we go through his youth. Like I said, he was in and out of jail all through his young teenage life, young child life, teenage life, and into his early adulthood. He did arson, fraud, and essay, all this other wild stuff. But it wasn't until like May 1913. Peter actually got his first taste of bloodlust, man. And all it just started off of him, doing some, B&E, some breaking and entering into a damn a house in Milheim am Rain. They doing some regular breaking and entering, grab some stuff, get in, get out. But before he left, he noticed a 10-year-old girl named Christine Klein who was sleeping in her bedroom. He's like, okay. He's like, I see a kid. I came here for some, I'm just trying to deal some little shit. I see a little girl. So he winds up going in there, and then all hell breaks loose, man. He went crazy on this kid. His bloodlust took over as he brutally strangled the small girl.
What?
She essayed her and slashed her throat. And that's not even the craziest part. The craziest part is he ejaculated at the scene of the crime.
Damn.
After he did all that, he went to the corner and busted one, and because he got off to it, and then he just left that kid there.
So the little girl, she innocent bystander, right? That's just in the way.
In his sleep, man. Not even in the way. He went out of his way for her because his intentions was to break in the house and just steal, some items. That was what he was there for. But he saw that kid and then something went off in him. Like, oh my god,
Damn.
I gotta boom. So almost like in a weird random act. Like he had no chances of killing somebody, but he just saw like somebody, a helpless person, at a disadvantage and wanted to take advantage of it. Because if you notice a lot of things, like, and I watch serial killer shit. I used to watch it a lot. I don't watch as much as I used to anymore as much as I used to. But serial killer documentaries and all that. And if you notice a theme about serial killers, they never go after people who can fight. Ever. Serial killers always go after people that like they have a disadvantage over, and it'd be at the most craziest time, spontaneous time sometimes.
Damn.
Just they snatch somebody up who ain't even, because they get off on like, oh my god, they don't see me coming, I could get them. And they kind of get off on this weird stuff, and it's not like that's where his brain kind of crossed over to, like, oh, there's an opportunity to take advantage of this kid.
Right.
And like I said, it went crazy and slaughtered this kid. And then since the next day, he returned to the scene, visiting a nearby tavern where he reveled in hearing the horrified locals discuss his crimes. Over the next few weeks, he would visit the girl's grave to pleasure himself.
Damn.
This crime, man, wow,
much.
I'll have to put a disclaimer up on this before I do the post this. It says, this crime had apparently given Peter Kürten a taste for murder. Just 2 months after killing Christine Klein, he burglarized the home of another girl who was 17 years old, and he strangled her, and at the same way, he rubbed one out this crime scene again.
Jeez.
As she lay there dying, she wasn't even fully dead when he was like, she was over there dying, and he's like, I'm gonna get this out and I'm gonna bounce.
You know what's crazy? Like back then, you can get away with a lot of these crimes because there's no cameras anywhere.
None, bro. Not a single one.
Not one single camera. And then on top of that, they didn't have no like DNA stuff, right, for testing. That wasn't even available until what year? Or did they?
Probably over like a century later, man. That's why you have like these cold case files. Like, yeah, we just solved the murder of somebody who got murdered in like 1882 and shit. So it is like 2020 something.
Yeah, like by the time they like solved the murder, they're already dead in jail.
Oh, they did. Is like they've been dead. They've like in a whole nother dimension now.
So back then, dude, imagine if you had like a camera phone back then. The amount of crimes that was happening is probably fucking way worse than what it is now. It just wasn't recorded.
Hey, if you look up right now, and despite all the shit we hear about what's going on in the world and all this wild shit, on planet Earth right now, statistically, this is like the most peaceful time period humans have ever been in. Before this shit, before cameras, all this other shit, humans were wilding, man, and nobody was stopping it. But once we learned to like self-police ourselves and be like, hey, like we got law enforcement, we got this shit, cameras. But like nowadays, I don't even know why people even commit crimes nowadays. But I don't get it. As soon as you walk out the house, you got
Wait, holy shit! There's like a whole bunch of people in my front door right now. All right, and we're back.
Yeah, what was I? Oh yeah, so like I was saying before, yeah, man, we live in the most peaceful time in human history right now. So back then, people was getting away and doing more wilder shit than now. Because we police ourselves a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Maybe to our own fault sometimes, because we get spied on all the time. But yeah, so we gotten better, man. We ain't as crazy as we used to be. We still got a lot of work to do though. But yeah, man, back to this shit, man. What was that? Okay, so like I said, so Peter Kürten, he winds up murdering the 17-year-old girl, and once again he winds up, busting a nut over in the crime scene again. As she was dying, she was even dead from what I'm assuming, like when I'm hearing about the story, she was actually in the process of dying, and he just couldn't wait, and just had to go. So after he did that, he went on this crime spree, a lot of like theft and whatnot still, but at times while he was doing these acts, that's when his bloodlust would kick in. Not all the time. Sometimes he'd be breaking in houses, doing all this crime shit he always been doing, but then his killer's instinct would come in. I guess his murder side would come in. He's basically like a petty thief that happened to be a serial killer. He's like the worst. It's like a bad combination, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always gonna be breaking into shit, and then sometimes he might murder you. And so his murder spree actually came to a halt in like 1914 when he actually got drafted into the German army. And he kept trying to like escape the army again and again and again, and eventually sent him to prison for it. And then he got released from prison, and then he actually moved to this town called Altenburg, and he married this woman named August Scharf. She was actually this candy shop owner who used to be a former sex worker. And from my understanding, based off of how they were as a couple, they sound like there's like the perfect match from hell, because this woman that Peter Kürten had married, she also had murdered some people in her past too. But she went to prison for it and everything. She actually murdered her former fiance. And so she was a murderer himself, and she was always like, up forward with it, and told like was, outspoken about her past to Peter. But Peter didn't tell her nothing about the shit he did at all. Not about all the girls he was out there murdering, nothing. She never knew. But she was always open book to him. Didn't even know he's a damn serial killer at all. And so during this time period, Peter Kürten tried to live like this normal life. He was like a molder, working with houses and whatnot, trying to be a decent, normal person. And then he got arrested for like, essaying two maids at a house one time. And so he wound up going back to prison. And that's what kind of started him back on his route of like going on to this murderous rage again once he got out of prison. And this is when he started getting the name of the Vampire of Düsseldorf. And that's when he really started ramping up this is when he really started making a name for himself and just went ape shit all through like, Germany and whatnot. Says Peter lost no time in returning his old ways, graping, torturing, and killing more people throughout Düsseldorf in Germany. In 1929, his killing spree reached an all-time high. He murdered 7 people during this period, and he attempted to kill several more. In many cases, his would-be murder victims reportedly escaped simply because when Peter was actually at the crime scene, after he already like stabbed him up and everything like that, yeah. Peter was like thinking his victims were dead while he was like, trying to get one off, and he would leave. And some of them would still be alive, like, oh my God, like I've actually survived. Thinking that, what I'm saying? He like usually was him trying to reach that climax, he thinking the victim's already dead. But a lot of times he kept making this mistake of, hey, they're not really dead, you just stabbed them a bunch of times. You leaving your DNA over the scene, and you got an eyewitness now. So that's how all these like kind of start catching up to him, because he was leaving too many people alive, all because he just I think it's more because he just
after they got stabbed, but then you got came on, right?
Yes, I don't know if he I think he might have been buzzing on him or
like, my eye, but I'm stabbed. Yeah. But at the same time, you got semen on you.
Yes, but then you got to fake it because you be like, I'm dead. But I gotta be like,
damn. Like at that point, do you wish like you were dead?
Only feeling that in my mouth. Imagine be like this,
dude. That's crazy, right? Like you're getting stabbed already. He's like violating you at the same time, but then he's gonna finish off on your face. After you're bleeding out, he's thinking you're dead.
Right. And then he's
You
like,
still
"Oh
live
shit, you still
after
alive?"
that? Like, and then you wake up, you have like one eye open.
All sticky.
I was alive the whole time. I could barely open the other one because it's too sticky. Yeah, that's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
This dude was awful, man. And this is before he started drinking blood. The blood is actually the normal part out of all
Yeah,
this.
I was gonna ask you, like, how did he get the name vampire?
Well, I think, so for what I was reading is that he wound up getting the name vampire because of a situation where he was trying to drink some of his victim's blood. It seemed like he should have been known as, the masturbator of Düsseldorf, if anything. That should have been his name, not the vampire. The vampire thing was like, the blood thing doesn't come until later, which I'm about to get to right now, because, he drank like a kid's blood once that he murdered. Sometimes a Kürten would drink his victim's blood directly from their wounds. The public began to panic, and it seems as if a real-life vampire was walking among them. Peter Kürten appeared to take pleasure in the terror his attacks were causing in Düsseldorf. Occasionally, he returned to the crime scenes to discuss crimes with police under the guise of a concerned citizen. Walking up in there and be like, "Oh man, what happened? Oh my god!" And these cops at the time like, "Well, this person got murdered over here," and he's like, "Oh, that's so awful." Oh man. Oh, that's awful. I got him. They don't even know. And he's like, "Oh my god, that's awful." Well, thank you, officer. And he would just go off and be like, "Yes." He would get high off this, man.
Wow, there's something like that happened like in real life, where they actually interviewed like somebody in the news that actually kidnapped the girl and killed her.
Man.
And then they interviewed the dude on the news, and he's so chill about that shit.
No, there was this dude out in Georgia, like in sometime in the 2010s, I think it was, where this college girl, her neighbor was like obsessed with her. He like always had a crush on her, whatever. And she had got engaged, right? And she was going to move out of state with a fiance. And he got so upset about it, he like broke into her apartment and killed her in her bathtub, chopped up her body and everything, put it in a trash bag, and then threw it in like some kind of recycling can beside the dorms they was living in, or apartment complex they was living in, right? And on real shit, you look on Fox 5 News, he's on Fox 5 News talking to the reporter, right?
Dang.
Talking to the reporter. And while he's talking to the reporter, he's like, "Yeah, no, she was a beautiful person. I hope they can find her, da-da-da." And then the news reporter was like, "Well, they have found her. They actually found her around the police have already found her. And he's on the side of the building. Like, they found her body. And you can see his face go white. On live TV, he's like,
"Oh, shit, I think I saw this."
And he sits down, he's like, "Hey, sir, you okay?" And he's not saying nothing. He's like, "Oh, my God." Like that whole, I'm fucked look on his face.
Like, oh, shit, they found her? Like, what?
Yeah, next to the building she was murdered in.
Like, I thought I hit it pretty good. Damn.
Idiot. That's the first thing. First thing, gonna check the whole area.
Damn, dude.
What is crazy? Happened in Georgia, man. That's happened like back in like 2015 or some shit.
Yeah, that's why, like, if you're a female and some dude is just so into you like that,
man, strap up.
You gotta be careful.
Man,
Some dudes, they play off as so nice. Oh, they're so nice.
He's such a nice guy, but I like him as a brother.
They would do anything
like that.
for me.
But I won't
Cut
do
your
anything
ass
for him.
up,
Right?
right? Like, no one's gonna have you. Cut him up.
Can't have you. Instead of be all these women in the world, and you want to be stuck on this one. That shit's sad. But
Dude, it's a whole mental game.
it is, man.
Because, like, still, we don't know what's going on that side because we're not in the shoes. That's why we can't even say much about it.
Right. That's why, like, what makes sense to us may not make sense to them.
Right. Like, our normal is not their normal.
Right. I remember somebody on Twitter, like, last week was saying, like, man, and the Batman movie, the last one with, like, the dude, Robert Pattinson and all that shit. He was like, man, that movie was good, but the Riddler's plan was stupid. I thought he was supposed to be smart. And then basically talking about his plan of, like, he actually harmed more people that he thought he was helping. And he's like, well, that's not a good criminal. He's actually a dumb criminal. I'm like, and I explained to him, like, well, he's crazy. That makes sense to him in some weird way, but not to us. Like, he thought he was doing the right thing, but of course his plan was flawed. He's not going to see the logic behind the shit that we would see. So yeah, he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
He's not a mastermind. He's not a genius. You give him too much credit,
dude. Like, you're seeing things different road and everything.
Yeah, man.
That's why when someone's like freaking out, like having like a panic attack, right, and they're just fucking yelling and stuff, and you don't know what's happening. And I've seen it many times at work, and I'm like, oh shit, like what's happening? And then they would call like the cops and stuff. Like this one incident happened last week where there was this young couple. They told me later they're like 18, 19, right? They look old as shit, by the way. They look like old ass couple, but they're like 18, 19, and they were arguing like on the train, right? She has like a baby strapped onto her, like a baby, maybe at most like a year old. And the dude was like, "Give me the baby," and she's like, "I'm not gonna give you the baby." And they were chasing each other on the platform at the train station.
The baby.
Yeah, with the baby like strapped up, and the baby's like just dangling, like it's nothing. Like it looks like the baby's like a doll at that point. Because she's running, and the dude was chasing her. The dude was like, "Give me the baby." She's like, "No, I'm not gonna give you the baby." And then they call the cops, right? And then this is when I got off the train. I didn't know the whole story till the dudes at the station told me the story. They're like, "Yeah, they were chasing her around. He was chasing her around and stuff like that." Because I came off the train, and then it was fucking all of her was arguing, and then the girl was trying to get on the train. They had the cop, right? The cop came down, and he told the train conductors like, "Hey, stop the train! Don't move the train." And then they got into like they were just running around the whole platform, even like running like from like the cop and shit.
Damn, with the baby still.
I didn't see the whole thing because I was like, I gotta go pee. I was like, I'm out. I'm not gonna stay here to witness the rest of this because it already looks so crazy. I was like, I'm out.
I watch it on Fox 5 when I get home. Like,
yeah, like if it goes that far. Just rolled out of bed. Says I have an autistic dude that visits me at work. That visit me at work. Then he has total what? And then find out my schedule. He visit me at work. He has a total and finds out my schedule.
Sounds like
that's scary.
Sounds like a stalker.
Yeah, that sounds like a stalker to me. Yeah, like if visit me at work and call me, and then finds out her schedule. Yeah, that's definitely a stalker.
Yeah.
If anybody looks for you at work, right? Let's say you work in retail. Like, oh shit. Like, hey, is Chris working? Yeah, he works on Wednesday. He's off on Tuesday. He has a podcast. Like, okay, I visit him on Wednesday. That's a stalker.
There used to be a guy I worked with at the CDC. He's one of the guards. And he, like, I guess somebody did that to him one time. It's like, "Hey, is so-and-so working today?" He's like, "Nah." Like, they called another security guard asking about the whereabouts of another security guard who wasn't there. So the security guard who don't like his information out there, well, he got pissed when somebody took a call one time. Was like, "Well, yeah, he's off today. He'll be in tomorrow at this time to the doom." And when the next day when that guard came into work and they got that call from someone like, "Hey, how's it going, Mr. So-and-so?" He's like, "Hey, you called me at a specific time. I just walked in. Like, how'd you find out I was coming in?" He's like, "Oh, because Mr. So-and-so, man, he cussed his ass out for that." He's like, "Man, don't be telling nobody my fucking schedule ever, motherfucker." He cussed him out. I was at my desk just like, he told everybody not to do that.
Yeah,
he told everybody.
That's a bit personal.
He's like, "You ask me, you ask me to let my number out to somebody or respond or whatever. Don't be."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Doing on my behalf. God, no. I have boundaries on it. I'm not that extreme, but I mean, I do have boundaries on that type of stuff, though. You can't just be telling everybody my shit.
Yeah, yeah. There's no reason to tell all that information, especially somebody you don't even know.
Right?
All right. Yeah, Chris is off Tuesday. He's working Wednesday.
Excuse me.
From 6 to 9. Yeah, catch him.
Right. Let me wrap up this story. I'm at the end of this shit. All right, so like I was saying before with Peter Kürten, he actually, like I said, he had a bad habit of like stabbing up women, doing whatever to them, and then before he out there climaxing all over the crime scene. Some of them survived these encounters with him, and the last one that survived his encounter was this lady named what the hell's her name, man? I just lost it. This lady named Maria Budlick.
Budlick.
That's a lot. Yeah, Budlick. Ooh, it's a hard one to say. Budlick. It's easy to say Budlick. It's close to it. I'm trying not to say it. But so Maria, she was back in May of 14th of 1930. She was actually like the last victim of Peter Kürten, and she actually survived the incident. She actually survived it, and after he went off on after climaxed and then left the crime scene, she survived. She went to the hospital, got herself cleaned up or whatever, but she never told anybody what happened that night at all. She didn't go to the cops about it. Nobody knew about her situation. How her situation got spread out into the open, though, is when she was trying to write a letter to, like, I think it was like a friend of hers that lived in another country. And when she's trying to write them a letter saying, like, hey, the whole this will just happen to me, I don't know what to do, she wrote the wrong address on the letter. And another household got the letter that she was trying to mail off to. The letter she's trying to mail off, a whole other household got that letter. And when they opened up the letter, it was like, oh my God! They read the whole, because she told the whole story about what happened to her, how the vampire of Düsseldorf came out there and got her and everything, and she wrote everything in this letter. And so, like I said, the people that got it, they turned it over to the authorities, and that's when the cops was like, boom, we know where this asshole is at, and they went and they grabbed Peter's crazy ass, and that's how they wound up catching him in the end. And so, yeah, he wound up confessing to all the crimes. Like, yeah, I did it. He even said, like, he even admitted to some crimes that they didn't even find out about. Like I said before, like, he said at the age of 9 where he supposedly drowned 2 boys. But they can never, like, confirm or deny it. But he was talking about crimes he did that they can never even discover. But they can only go based off of what he told them. So, yeah, after his arrest, Peter confessed to 79 different crimes, including 9 murders. A lot of that shit was probably breaking and entering and vandalizing and ejaculating on crime scenes, but 9 murders altogether totaled. He justifies his crimes by claiming they were revenge for the horrors inflicted upon him during his childhood and in prison. Because he also got treated awful and essayed in prison as well, too, growing up at a young age. That's where a lot of stuff was going down that caused him trauma as well, too. It wasn't just his household. It was also his time in incarceration that built up this sadistic side that existed in him. It took the jury 90 minutes to reach a verdict, which means they walked in and walked out saying he was guilty, and he actually got executed by guillotine.
Damn.
Yeah, they chopped that motherfucker's head clean off in July 2nd, 1931. But the last words he said before they chopped his heads off were, "Tell me," he said, "after my head is chopped off, will I be able to hear, at least for a moment, the sound of my own blood gushing from the stump of my neck? That will be a pleasure to end all pleasures." And then they wouldn't chop his head off after that. Whether he heard that shit or not. Even in the end, he's like, I want to get off the blood. I want to hear that come out my neck.
Damn.
Like, he crazy, bro. I'm always like the biggest like person like that gets behind on death penalties because they be killing the wrong people sometimes, boy. It's shocking how many people they kill accidentally that never committed the crime. But I do think there's execution for people like this who cannot and should never be around humans ever again.
Yeah,
they could have killed his ass fast enough. He was awful.
Execution is crazy. And then like overseas, right? Like for example, like in some Asian countries, for executions, right? They just shoot him in the head, right?
Oh.
So like there's like this instant that happened where like, you know, if that dude, he cocks the gun back and he's supposed to execute the dude, right? And it locks up. And then he try to clear the lock again. If it locks up again and it doesn't shoot, they let the dude free. No matter like what crime like he committed.
It's like, okay, we get it. We get it.
And then because they're like, okay, like the gods didn't want this to happen, so he's not supposed to die. So they let the dude go like free, like automatically.
That's trippy though.
Because the gun jammed like twice. And no matter what crime. Yeah.
You first put a hand in front of the barrel, like, nah.
That shit is crazy. And then, like the dude can commit like the most heinous crime ever.
Has it ever happened before?
It has happened before. Like there's stories about that shit. I was like, holy shit!
Look at this shit. That's wild, man. That means
like, it's a rare occasion, but if that shit jammed twice, I'm like, all right, we're not supposed to kill him.
Man, I think rare is an understatement. That shit is like,
yeah, jammed twice.
One time, okay, rare, but twice. That's even
that's
me.
when they're like, all right, we're not supposed to do it. We're like, if we continue this, if we kill him, it might fuck some shit up.
That'd be pretty messed up if like they let him go though, and he goes back to like murdering people again or some shit. It's like you're like, damn.
But, I mean, like,
you do.
Like he murdered somebody like with a family, right? But then the dude was like, it's like, all right, he just murdered my whole family. But then he became something like so much greater, to where he can fix like so many people's lives.
Man, got a second chance.
Yes, dude. This whole shit is weird.
Everything.
Yeah, nothing is like, you know, like all happy rainbows. Like a lot of stuff that happened that's good, it came from something that's very bad. If you think about it, you know, like
science is like that. You're like, boy, there's a reason why we got good.
How many eggs did they crack? Yeah, science is crazy.
Science, wow, boy, it's a beautiful thing. When you're like, oh, science is amazing, but how we get here is ugly.
Yeah, like how. How many experiment did you guys do?
Right.
Right before you came up with this product? Like,
How many people y'all tested this on?
how many monkeys died?
All right. How many humans
Tell
died?
the truth.
Tell us.
69 monkeys.
But yeah, if
All
you
right,
guys ever
that's a
want
big number.
it's a big number. It's a nice, solid number.
All right, well, 69, okay. Trying to be funny.
Also, to wrap this up, so they got Peter's Kürten's head in his in Wisconsin, and his Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. They actually have his head in there on display for the world to see. And also after his death too, they studied his brain, and they couldn't find nothing wrong with that shit. They couldn't find nothing wrong with his brain. It looked like a normal looking brain, like Einstein. They're like, oh my god. So it's deeper than just look.
Yeah, it's not physical. Like nothing.
Yeah,
like
man,
yeah, you can never find out the shit out physical. Like like stuff is happening on like another level that we can't even see.
On another dimension.
Yeah, imagine like a serial killer, right? Like the what's going on in his brain on like a, let's say, a quantum level, a different level to where we cannot see. Imagine what's going on like in his head, where he is like allowed to be doing this stuff like in real physical life. If it's real, Matrix thinking, but
right.
yeah, that shit, it bypassed all the rules of like us in society, how we think like, oh, this is the right way to work in society. Like all his shit bypassed all that, and he's doing all these murders.
I was thinking that
anything he wants.
I was thinking that just seeing how the way the world is, and the whole simulation theory starting to spread around more and more, and everything like that. I'm waiting for a day to where we have a serial killer that goes on a straight spree only because he thinks he's like I just see zeros and ones. Like I just see zeros and ones, and they take him in after the murder's all over with, and they study him. And it's like, yo, his brain does not operate like us. Is the plug like loose? Like why is he doesn't see this as it's flesh. He's like, I just see numbers, bro. This all like I'm just cutting up numbers.
Yeah, because you know about that dude, right, who killed like his parents because he believed in the Matrix so much?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That shit was real. The dude was like, this shit is all a simulation. And he shot his like mom with a shotgun to the face.
He's like, this is just a memory card.
Yeah, shot his dad.
I'm about to oversave this shit.
Yeah, because he was like, this is the Matrix. This is not real. I was like, holy shit. He took that movie like literal and shit. And he...
Man.
Damn, he was in a trench coat and everything and fucking shot his parents up. That's crazy.
Man. The human mind is scary, man. It's fascinating as it is scary, man. Sometimes you like, maybe we're just not meant to know how this shit works, man. Because even science and everything they still trying to figure out how this shit works in our head. That's why they start to lean more towards, hey, let's see what these psychedelics are about, because we kind of like running into walls with our theories. It might be it might be crazier than we can even explain with numbers.
Yeah, like dude, like it could all be like one big play. Cause you ever seen that show on HBO? What is it called? Where they had like robots. Westworld, yes. Yeah, Westworld. Dude, we could be living in like a Westworld right now. We could be all like programmed, like something like in our head that's programmed, and then we're in this world. We're doing this mundane life, right? Go to work, whatever, do whatever your shit, and then clock out, whatever. You have a family, but then you're just living like a simulated life, basically. Yeah. And then the people that actually breaks out the simulation, people that figured it out. Like let's say they took like a psychedelic trip, right? And like, all right, like fuck this world. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want when I want to do it. And then you get people like, for example, like Jake Paul, right? He was like, fuck this shit. Because Jake Paul, he spoke on like an interview. He did an ayahuasca trip. He went to Costa Rica, did an ayahuasca trip. And then he said they showed him like a vision of him fighting Mike Tyson. And this was like over 2 years ago. Before it even came in, in like actually is happening. He said he saw this shit a long time ago in an ayahuasca trip. I believe him, dude. But he said the main thing that came out of it, like win or lose, the main thing that came out of it, like there's like kids, right? Kids that are struggling and stuff, right? They saw like this fight with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Jake Paul, YouTuber, Mike Tyson, one of the biggest boxers in the world. And they saw that as inspiration where these little children, they saw that shit, watching it, and then they end up becoming like boxers themselves, like the next Mike Tyson.
Shit.
And so he breeded like a whole nother generation, and this came from Jake Paul. Like out of all people, Jake Paul, like he was the one like that created like this whole thing for the new generation.
I saw. I stepped out of time for a second.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't even hate on that shit no more. Like it's like,
damn,
dude, like his helping even the female boxers. Like I don't know her name. Like it's like Serrano, some shit. Like a Mexican boxer, like a female boxer. He's helping the female boxers, dude. Like the first time ever, like the last time they fought, they made over like $1 million.
Yeah.
All under Jake Paul. Like Jake Paul doing all this shit, trying to help other people. And I was like, holy shit, like how did he become this? And then I found out later he had like psychedelic trips, and I was like, oh shit, that makes sense.
So he's like, I figured how this shit works.
Yeah, it's like it's not all for him. His helping other people along on his path. I was like, dude, I can respect that. And his doing it. His helping so much people out. That's why, yeah, I can't hate on him.
Yeah, man.
Like he's doing it. Like even Tyson doing it too. Like Tyson, he went through like a psychedelic phase where he was taking like the toad venom.
Man, it's been a while since I listened to Hot Box, man. But yeah, man, back when I like in the early days when I used to listen to it when it first was on, I mean, his stories were like, holy shit, man. Like I was gone for like 5 minutes, but it was like 5,000 years or some shit he said, and just all this trippy shit.
Yeah, he was like
all this experience.
It's like I gained like 1,000 years of knowledge.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, because like dude, Tyson is not the same.
Nah, man, I followed this dude since I was a child, man. It's crazy to see how he was back in the early 90s when I was like a fan, like diehard fan of him, and then all the way throughout the 90s and 2000 to where he's at now. Honestly, I thought about, if you looked on how he was back then, you thought he would have been dead by like 2005 or some shit.
Yeah.
Like you would think he would have. I never experienced him. Lifestyle was crazy, man, and he lived to get to this age where he just relaxed a little bit and he ain't got to fight and to be stuck on drugs no more. Because that's how he went broke. Blew all his money on cars and drugs, man. Just fuck this. And he got ripped off by Don King. He ripped him off.
Yeah, he said he was chasing that high, like the high that he got every time like you want to fight, right? So he chased that high like with drugs. So he did so much drugs to where he was like the high is not the same as winning like a fight.
Right.
So he was like, that shit is not the same at all. And
hell no.
I guess that's what he got into his mode, his depression mode, or whatever the hell he got into.
Went into something, man. And then
he's
like
still weird right now.
Yeah, he's still a little off. But there's times I wonder too, like the point he has right now as a man in his life and everything he's gone through. Is he happier now than he was back then? I'm pretty sure his life back then was straight chaos, man. In fact, it wasn't much straight chaos.
I think he is more he's more full now. Like as a like an individual, like he feel like he already fulfilled like his life. Right. Now it's just he's playing on bonus points.
Man, so I'm just trying to get
him, man. Dude, Jake Paul, the same shit. Like I was like, dude, like they're all living on like some bonus credits. Like because they both can die like right now, but they already like achieved so much.
Man, more than a lot of people will ever reach in this world.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
more
that.
than like people can die like 500 times can achieve. So I think they already like reached like, I wouldn't say like the end, but they already reached like their goal already. Right now, they're playing bonus. They're just having fun right now. So like,
we got some extra coins in our pocket.
Yeah, like it's like win or lose, both of them. Like, dude, that shit is already freaking crazy.
Right.
For Tyson to be fighting again at this age, that's wild, dude.
Right, man. So I hope he ain't hurting for money. I hope that's not why he fighting. But
no, it's definitely not. The dude he already has a lot of money ready.
Yeah, I remember some years ago when he first started Hot Box. He's like, at least I looked up online how much money he was worth too. That he's worth $2 million. And I was like, holy shit, that is nothing compared to what he was in the 90s. But sometimes in order to grow, you have to fall. And I think that's what his, like, he just fell hard. And then he got back up and kept pushing, man. Like, if you get a chance, there's this movie with Mike Tyson. It's directed by Spike Lee. But all he is like on stage. I forget the name of the movie. But he's on stage talking about his entire life from that point to where he was right now. And he just explains like, he's like, I used to rob people when I was this age and do this shit. And I used to be always getting in trouble and locked up and yada, yada, yada. But I know how to like do pigeons. He talked about a story about how, you know, you do pigeon racing and all that. Dude fucking loves pigeons more than any other human on earth, man. He has a fascination with them. But he's he's on stage talking about it to an audience, man. It's so engaging. You kind of like, oh, by the end of it, you're like, dude, this dude came like fucking 180 in his life, man. He's at a better spot. I'm happy for him. Like, it's
dude. Speaking of pigeons, right? Like they had like this face-to-face interview, like with Tyson and Jake Paul, and Jake Paul bought Tyson like this pigeon, like from like Southeast Asia, whatever, for thousands of dollars, right? And then he gave the pigeon to Mike Tyson. Then Tyson he took that pigeon out, he grabbed it, right? Jake Paul was like, I've never seen anybody handle a pigeon like that. And he grabbed the pigeon, right? And he looked at the pigeon, you know, just to see what kind of pigeon this is. Then he was like, there's like no rings on him. Like this pigeon don't belong to nobody. Like there's no like a group of birds.
No kind of like tag or whatever the fuck ever.
Yeah, it's like a nature tag. Like there's no rings on him. And they're like, like Tyson's like, yeah, this pigeon don't belong to nobody.
He's free.
Like, nobody claimed this pigeon. And Tyson's like, yeah, it's like, I don't want this pigeon. You know, because like this, he called like a budget pigeon, but like fucking Jake Paul paid like $1,000 for this pigeon. Tyson, he saw this shit, was like, nah, like this, he has no rings on him. Like he doesn't belong to nobody. He's like, I'm gonna feed it to my falcon. That's what he's, I'm gonna feed it to my falcon. And then the dude was like, it's like, are you really gonna feed it to your falcon? It's like, no. You know, like at the end of the interview, he's like, I'm not gonna take this pigeon. So Jake Paul had to take the pigeon back.
He's like, damn, I got a fucking pet now.
Yeah, he has to fucking resell that pigeon to somebody else.
Man, he better eat that shit for protein. Gonna make some chicken sandwiches. A pigeon sandwich.
That shit was wild, man.
Hold on right quick.
Y'all, are you done with that story?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, we're going to take a quick break real quick. Come back, I'm going to do my story.
Right on.
All right, be right back, guys. And we're back. All right, so an American neo-shaman, they're running psychedelic hotels in Costa Rica, and guess what? Somebody died.
Oh, I forgot this. Okay.
It's like my worst nightmare where, you know, we're trying to start like a movement with psychedelics to help people dealing with mental issues or anything in their life with like, I don't understand anything no more. And then they're supposed to help people, guide them into like a whole positive life. And then when I hear stories like this where somebody who was trying to, you know, better themselves in like the world of psychedelics because they heard so much positive stuff like, hey, psychedelics can help get you out that rut, get you out that hole that you've been digging yourself in. It can help you you know, like quit drugs that you're doing, alcohol, drugs, everything, meth, all of that, any hard drugs, like it can help them. So in August of this year, Lauren Levis, she lost her life at a retreat in Piquera, I think it's like Costa Rica, and her death was linked to like this psychedelic drug called iboga or iboga. I think it's called iboga, which is an African root bark that comes from like a tree, and then this one psychedelic, right? It's like a root in one of these trees, like in Africa. So potent, like in psychedelic, like it's known as like the Mount Everest of psychedelics.
Damn.
Like it's like beyond like ayahuasca, it's beyond like a mushroom trip, it's beyond like an LSD trip. Like iboga is like from what this article is saying, it's like the Mount Everest, like the ultimate psychedelic.
That shit takes you out the petri dish, boy.
Yeah, that shit literally takes you out the petri dish. Like, Jesus Christ, I couldn't say it better myself. Yeah, but it's crazy because like, well, what they're describing, like this drug is like, it makes you like rewatch all the traumas in your life that you experience. You know, like if you were like a fly on the wall, like you're a fly on the wall, and then you're witnessing all this trauma that you went through, like as a child, as an adult, like all this fucked up shit, and you're seeing it from like third person view, like a fly, and you're just watching it, and you're experiencing all this bad shit.
That's awful.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like it gets like way more like intense than that.
Right.
So like this lady Lauren, right? She went to Costa Rica for the first time, and she's like, "Hey, I want to experience like a trip that can help me get over like some addictions, because she had like some drug addictions and stuff, and she wanted to get over that." And then the first time she went right to this retreat in Costa Rica, like she was experiencing like a lot of stuff to where she was sweating a lot, and she wasn't having like a good experience. She was just throwing up, but she wasn't experiencing like a psychedelic experience. So like they gave her like credits, right? Cause dude, these trips, like I don't even know why they even charge people this much. It's like they charge people between $7,000 to $10,000 to experience like these psychedelic trips using like iboga, like the root from the tree.
I wouldn't even trust it.
That's a lot of money, dude.
I wouldn't trust that shit off top, man. I mean, I get like if you a company that's starting up and you gotta, you gotta make some money to grow bigger, then maybe you can make it cheaper. I get it from maybe that aspect, but man, if this trip is supposed to be, I mean, I'm assuming it's supposed to be to help people. You wouldn't be having such a damn hefty ass price for it, man. This is like a trip for rich people. This ain't for us.
I think they lost their ways, dude. I think they definitely lost their ways, but I think like they're trying to capitalize on like the American people that's like uneducated. They're like, all right, let's just fucking just capitalize on this shit, because they're all coming out here like crazy. Let's just raise their prices like crazy. Let's see if they still pay, right? And then they still pay. So they're like, so they're not getting like they're like, all right, we're gonna just do the trip for them. Let's see what happens, you know? But
there'd be a price tag,
dude. Yeah,
like, that's how you are, man. If you run a dishonest thing, you get dishonest, like, outcomes. Like, man, if this is really for the people, maybe she wouldn't have died. Maybe it would have been, she'd been taken care of way better. Maybe, I don't know.
Right, like because like, okay, she had like the bad experience, right, the first time she went, and then nothing was working for her. So they gave her like a refund, but they gave her the refund in like a $7,000 credit that she can only use for the next trip, to go back there. Like that's the only way she can use it. She has to come back.
When I hear places do that, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna give you store credit." Like, no, I want my money back. Like, I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I don't like your services, man.
So yeah, they didn't give her money back. They're like, "All right, you can only use this $7,000 like back here."
Okay, I come back.
So like she went back home, and she fixed her life a little bit. Like she gained like 2 master degrees. Like she was doing great like in life, but she felt like something was missing in her life. She felt like there's like a void that she's she can't understand like why her life is like the way it is. So she went back to Costa Rica, right? She used up her $7,000 in credit to have like another experience using these psychedelics like iboga, which is the root in Africa, like really a potent psychedelic, right? And usually in these retreats, right, these psychedelic retreats, they have people like on board where they already like to test your blood pressure and everything. They test like if your heart is okay and everything like that, right? Before they even give you the psychedelic trip. Because they ask you questions like, hey, are you under any drug? For example, if you're on opioids, then you should tell them if you're on any opioids. You should tell them if you're on any antidepressant pills.
Right.
Like, this is stuff like, okay, if you're taking a psychedelic trip at a retreat, right? And they're asking these questions, if you're on certain medication, you need to be honest about that.
Man,
you cannot lie about that, because that's a big problem, dude.
I can see that, man. Interfering with shit.
Yeah, because like if they're under like any antidepressant, right, and they take a psychedelic trip, thinking they're gonna get a psychedelic trip, like guess what? They're not gonna get no psychedelic trip.
Nightmare fuel.
They're gonna get stuck in the lobby. Yeah, and they're gonna be like, this shit is so fucking, it's so fake. No,
Oh.
you're under drugs, and you didn't even tell people you're under drugs. This is why, like, I ask people before I take them into a trip. I ask them, "Are you under anything? Be honest." And then we can continue.
I promise I won't tell your boss. Just tell me.
Yeah, like if you're under anything, like it's okay. Just tell me, and then okay, we can do it another time. No big deal.
It'll still be here. I promise.
Because I was like, we're not gonna waste nobody's time, right? Because if you're under like an opioid, or if you're under like it's a antidepressant medication, it's unnecessary. Nothing's gonna happen.
This shit sucks.
It's not gonna work, and you're gonna waste time for everybody.
Shit's overhyped.
I was like, what did you see? I saw nothing. I'm like, what?
I thought you were gonna say they see like crazy shit, like a nightmare. But that's even a lobby. That's boring.
Yeah, but okay, so I got a little sidetrack off this. Okay, so Lauren, right? She eventually came back to like the place Costa Rica to take like the trip again, right? To take the Iboga trip. And then she took the trip, and they said she was sweating like crazy. She was saying everything was spinning. And then they took her into like a room, and then tried to shower her off. And then she was like, I think she was just tripping like balls off the wall. They couldn't understand what was going on. But long story short, like she ended up, I think she had like a heart attack where like they couldn't bring her back. So like the trip, like whatever trip that she took, and she never came back from that trip.
It was our last trip.
Yeah, it was our last trip, basically. Dude, and that shit was crazy because, like, when I was reading, I was like, maybe, like, her soul was already ready to clock out. Right? And this was, like, the early exit stage to where they're like, all right, save and exit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, because
save your game before you quit.
Yeah, because dude, maybe I told like a couple of people this, but I had like this one mushroom trip where they told me like if you wanna find out the truth, right, you gotta exit here. But if you exit here, like you might not come back there. And that shit freaked me out, dude.
That's horrifying. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
That made my skin crawl.
And then when they were like, they said that, they showed the whole door. I saw everything. I saw the whole door. They're like, just come through here. You can see the truth of everything, but you won't come back. Dude, I backed up so quick. I was like, fuck that. I took the blindfold off, everything. I was like, this is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck that. So I think in this case, like with Lauren, I'm not trying to say I'm a no expert or whatever, but I think she might have experienced something similar to where, hey, like your life that you're going back to was not, it's nothing. Like you're in a play. You're
Like,
just playing in a play right now. This is not your real shit.
It's more than just having a successful job. And you said she had a solid life, right?
Yeah, she had like 2 master degrees. Like she had money.
So she wasn't even struggling.
Yeah, and she was like, but why they're dealing with so much like mental issues and stuff like that. And then, because she was trying to fix that shit, but then she ended up never even coming back. So I think that she was looking for like a way out, and this might have been like her way out. Like out of the whole simulation. She was like, fuck it. Because they probably gave her the option, right? They told her like, hey, you want to go back? She's like, no. Like, all right, we're going to make you die from like a damn heart attack. Make it look natural, you know? It could be like that too. Like I thought about that shit. Because like the whole family was trying to sue like the whole company and shit. They're like, fuck, man. I was like, damn. Like this is like a retreat. Like we're trying to help people. But
all right, man.
But like at the same time, like when they're charging people $7,000 to $10,000 for a psychedelic trip to help you like get over some, like if you're having an addiction, I thought that was crazy, man.
Looks scammy.
Yeah, that's scammy.
I don't know.
That's too much money, dude.
That's a lot, bro. That's like you might
But
as well travel
like,
to
what's
another
crazy?
country.
Like, companies, they don't even offer you, like insurance for like if you have something dealing with like your whole mental issue, right?
Yeah.
Is there like
As far
an
as what?
insurance plan where they'd be like, all right,
Oh, deal with you
we
with
can
like
eat that up because
mental.
that's normal, right? Mental issues, that's normal. We can eat up the cost.
I mean, yeah. I mean, shit. Man, look, I got PTSD, so I got a cut. I got a check cut from the government all the time. But that's like yeah. I think they would cover some shit if you can claim disability. Like I know a guy that used to be my neighbor years ago. He got hit by a car,
He said God used to be
and
your neighbor.
yeah, it was like years ago. Like this guy, like I was still living in like out in Georgia.
God.
There's this guy that was like my neighbor. Now, mind you, this incident happened before I met him, but he was hit by a car years prior before I met him. And it messed him up so badly that he has a fear of cars. He refuses to get in cars. He walks everywhere.
Wow.
His mom used to come by, give him his medication like at 6 o'clock every evening, right after I was getting off of work. Sometimes the mom would be there or the mom would just be pulling up to the house. But she'd be giving his medication. I'm like, hey, what's up, Chris? Or hey, Miss So-and-so. Talk back and forth, da-da-da. But yeah, she's the one who told me the story about like, hey, like I treat my son because he can't get in cars anymore and he gets disability. He can't work because we had to say, because when you have a disability problem, you have to prove a case to the government like, hey, he needs a check cut for him because he can't do anything or he's not going to make it out here. And so they're like, okay, well, he's shown that he does have PTSD from cars because from my understanding, he's walking down the side of the road one day and it was hit and run and he survived it and it messed him up in the head. So it's like, yeah, they'll cut you a check if you can't do shit. They'll, take care of you. But you got to prove it too, though, because they're going to make you, they need all the evidence.
Yeah.
So,
Can't prove
yeah,
that shit.
maybe. Yeah. But shit, maybe they may, I mean, honestly, one day that's what they need to do when this world starts, be hitting a better spot in knowledge of psychedelics. They're going to start doing the same thing with that. You're like, hey, you on, no, we'll cut them.
Yeah.
They'll create a system for it eventually.
Yeah, it's like every step psychedelics try to take to help people out. Like you hear stories about this to where, all right, somebody took a psychedelic and then they died at the retreat, which is like a controlled retreat, right? Which they had like doctors on board to where they check your pulses and everything. They check to see if your heart rate is good enough for you to even experience a psychedelic trip, right?
Yeah.
So they check all that shit before you even do a psychedelic trip. So it's not a place where it's just for fun. I think this place actually took it serious. But then
Yeah, this is bad press.
something that happens like this when somebody takes a psychedelic trip, maybe they lied on their papers, they haven't have any some medical issues and shit like this before, or if they're under any drugs.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully
then you get a
places
situation to where they took the trip, and then their heart was racing so fast to where they end up having a heart attack. And then you want to because they're saying no 911 call was made initially. Instead of staff, they intended to cool her down and then take her to the shower. So they're trying to help her out before they even made the 911 call, which I think might have been a mistake on their part.
Man, hell yeah.
But
Y'all ain't doctors.
yeah, I'm thinking at this case for me I experienced psychedelics like that. I probably would have done the same thing they did. It's almost I'm looking at them they're probably overreacting. And then I was like, all right, let's try to cool them down,
Right.
This is probably the whole protocol they were doing before they made a 911 call, because they probably seen it a lot. With the people that came into the resort and trying to do a whole psychedelic trip, they probably experienced the same shit, where they're freaking out and all right,
Man,
it could be them just going through the stages of the psychedelic trip.
Right.
But in this case, they didn't figure that shit out. She was sweating profusely. I don't know how you say that. But then end up after they made the 911 call, she ended up being pronounced dead from and a heart attack. And
Yeah.
even though like they administer like like CPR, like over 30 minutes, they couldn't bring her back. So, dude, that shit is scary because how can you tell? Then like when I hear stories like this, like it makes me kind of like backtrack a little bit on how like I want to treat people like with psychedelics. I like maybe like I shouldn't push it like as much like that, like
All right.
because like there was some people that I did the psychedelic trip, and then that trip was so crazy to where I was like, holy shit! I was like, this is a bad idea. Like instantly, I was like, holy shit! It wasn't
Yeah.
for this person.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was scary. And I was like, damn. I was like, no, yeah,
I'd be taking notes after that. I'd be like, yo, all right, so
yeah.
we're
I was
gonna
like,
do
I'm
what-
not equipped with this. Like, this is crazy. Like, I was like, I thought it was all fun and games. It's not.
I would say afterwards, like, hey, like after your experiences, I want you to fill out a survey or something, or be like, hey, sit down and talk to me. What is going on in your life that makes you think you probably had a bad trip? I mean, I know it might be personal, but it's between us. Oh, like, what, like did you take anything before this? Because I'm trying to help people, and I can't help them if I don't know what's wrong. At least I'll be trying to break it down
Dude,
like that. Like,
that shit, it'd be so crazy, man.
I can imagine, bro. I'd be so scared.
It'd be
I want to know
so
what to do.
crazy.
Go.
Yeah, like my cousin, like, it's been texting me. He's like, "Hey, like, you got the new shrooms? I want to do like this mushroom trip because he says something's going on in his life. He needs help." I was like, "I got you," and I told him I got a new batch and it's done, and just hit me up. I'll set you on your path because he came to me. I didn't came to him. That's the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Big
So I
ass
was like,
difference.
that's what I'm trying to come to now. I was like, okay, like if you know me, if you know the stuff I do and stuff, if you come to me, I'll help you. But I'm not gonna stick my head out for anybody.
Right. Like, this is your
No
choice.
more, not no more. It's too crazy.
Man, I can imagine, man. People gonna be like, it's your fault. Like, you motherfucker, you can't do motherfucker like
You
that.
killed my daughter. Like what?
Right.
What?
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
But no, it's not like that. It cannot be that serious.
Yeah.
Not for no
yeah.
mushroom trip. That I have a lot more control. Like 100%, I can control that. Not like control it, but I know you're gonna be okay 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, not no Iboga, Iboga trip. No, I don't know that. The Mount Everest of psychedelics. No thanks.
I feel like y'all just making it up.
Yeah, like you guys can make your money. You guys can make your $10,000 a person. I don't want no part of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've always been like, if you want to just do shrooms, do that shit at house. Do
Yeah.
you. Some of these resort stuff might be sketchy.
Right. So like Lauren, right? She passed away in her hotel room on August 5th of this year.
Oof.
Yeah. And their whole family's trying to sue the whole resort, the whole all of that shit. And I don't know what's happened.
Curious.
Yeah,
That's
but,
cool.
Like from everything that I read, I think she was ready to be already clocked out. All that shit. Her soul is not meant to be here or some shit, dude. And the bad part is like the people that's involved in helping her trying to get to that place, they're getting in trouble now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole issue with this whole shit. It's hard, man. Hard out here.
Hard out here for a shroom.
Yeah. But that's all I got for that. What else we got?
Right. Why is my damn fucking Twitch keep going out? Shit tripping. Alright, let's see what I got, man. This story is kind of it's a weird story. I feel like this bird is trying to tell us something, but let me try to pull this up right quick. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, so over in man, they actually scientists or whatever you call them, bird watching people, actually came across this emperor penguin that swam 2,200 miles from Antarctica to Australia.
Damn.
They've never seen anything like this ever in history of any penguin in their life. But this penguin figured out a cheat code and just swam his ass off across an entire body of water. It's insane. But so the story that goes is that this emperor penguin named Gus, this company known as the Australian Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions said they was tracking this penguin named Gus across basically through western Australia, near Denmark. And so they wound up finding his ass, and it was like, oh, well, he's actually an emperor penguin. They're not native to Australia. And where did he come from? And they found out, like, oh, shit, he swam from Antarctica. And they wound up realizing, like, okay, as a penguin, emperor penguins are usually like 100-something pounds, but he was like 51 pounds, Gus himself. And now they're trying to figure out, why did this damn penguin swim across the ocean? That's the thing they're trying to investigate. And my weird ass theory was like, he's running from something. Like, that's what I thought of. I was like, oh, was he escaping? Is he trying to tell us something?
What's going
on? What's going on in Antarctica, man? That is a long ass swim, man. He lost 50 pounds too.
Damn, got 50 pounds?
Yeah, because so Gus is, like I say, he's an emperor penguin, and those penguins are normally like 100 pounds by average weight. And so, but when they found him, he was like 51 pounds.
Damn.
And so he probably got like a little penguin six pack going on, like, lick up. He probably rips. The man swam all the way across the damn ocean. So they talked to some of these people at the Australian Broadcasting Company or Corporation, saying some of these scientists were saying like, never in my wildest would I have thought I'd ever see an emperor penguin to take care of in Australia, because they ain't from there. They are from a whole other part of the world. And how he got here, maybe he was abducted by aliens and he actually got dropped off in Australia. The aliens are like Antarctica, Australia, and they did the wrong coordinates.
That might be possible.
Yeah, they got confused with the A's and they put the penguin in Australia and not Antarctica.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
They was like, oh shit, we fucked up. We gotta go. And the aliens like, they peeled out. They got up off Earth. It's like, oh shit.
Leave it.
We gotta go. We out.
Damn, that fucked up some shit, right?
Man, yes. I'm gonna try to keep up with this story, man. I'm gonna try to, because I'm curious on how the hell they say he swam there. I don't know, man. That's 2,200 miles. That's almost a distance of the U.S. from coast to coast. Was it like 3,000 miles, I think, or some shit? It's like something like that. Maybe 2,000. But it's like crossing the United States, man. That is long. So, yeah. But that's a short story. This is kind of a breaking news story. This news came out yesterday. This is new. They ain't got nothing new about it, but I thought it was an interesting story. I thought it'd be a nice
penguin story?
Yes. I thought it was a nice... I wanted to get something that was a little bit lighter than people getting murdered.
Yo, I got something more lighter than that.
Ooh, let's go.
All right, so a daughter obtains a mom message in a bottle 26 years after it was sent.
What?
So in 1998, right, a fourth grader at this one school in the Great Lakes, they did a school project. 1998, they wrote like this stuff in a bottle. Like, hey, they're talking about, like the whole city and whatever they talked about in 1998, right? She threw the bottle in the ocean or in the river, like, bloop, right? And then over 26 years later, like some girl discovered this bottle, right? And the girl that opened that bottle, she read the message, and it was the fucking daughter of the person that wrote that letter.
Simulation confirmed.
Yeah, so like, what are the odds of that, right? Over 26 years later, and then the bottle happened to show up back at this elementary school, like at the same spot, right? She picked up the bottle, she read the letter, they read the letter in front of the whole class, and then the teacher's like, and the letter was written by so-and-so, blah, 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 like whatever the name was. And then the girl in the school that gave that bottle to the teacher, she was like, that's my mom. My mom wrote that letter.
What are the odds?
What are the odds, dude? That's why, like, what you were saying is like a simulation. What are the odds of that? It happened when she was in 4th grade, because the mom wrote that letter in 4th grade, and then her daughter found it in 4th grade when she was in 4th grade. Same school.
Yo, tinfoil beanie time. What if her future self sent that to her?
Jesus. But I mean, what would be why though? Like, if
AI is rising up in the year of 2024.
Yeah, so like
You need to be ready.
dude, like this story, they blew up Vice. Like they got, they got caught with this story. They're like, hey, let's find out more about this whole story. Yeah, the story is true. And the girl
That's
that found that
crazy.
letter, like her mom was the one that wrote that letter in fourth grade, and then her daughter in fourth grade happened to find that damn bottle
Man,
in fourth grade when she was in fourth grade.
this is up there with you about to get executed in China, and then the gun misfires twice. It's like up there.
Dude, yeah, that's
Like,
it.
this ain't even rare. This ain't even rare. This is like something else. This
Yeah,
ain't
it's
even
weird.
rare.
Dude,
I'm not
26
even-
years later, right?
That's
Damn.
wild.
And then your
While she-
kid found it
In fourth grade.
in the same grade you were. Like, you would think, like, damn, something's off. Like,
you
what are
ever
the
done
odds of
time-
that?
Have you ever done a time capsule before at school?
Yeah, in middle school.
Yeah, I did one at East Clayton Elementary. I don't know what they did with it. It's probably still there. They built a charter school over there now, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Probably still-
and then I remember them, they planted that whole, whatever that was, and like, we're not going to open this until 2025 or some shit.
Oh, that's crazy if they said that. I thought it would be like 2005, 2030, 20.
Yeah, I think they
can see
opened
that.
it, but yeah, I remember I wrote all my shit there.
I don't even know what I wrote on mine. That was probably help. That's probably no mine. That's like help.
This place is hell. This place sucks.
Don't do it. That's all I'm just wrote
We
on. Don't
can't
do it.
communicate. AI help.
Scott, that's gonna take over.
Yeah. But that's all I got for that.
All right.
I think we're good, dude.
We're good. Yeah, I think I ran out of stories too.
Yeah, I think we're good. I got one good story.
There you go. That's a nice, solid one.
I got two, but I think we're over in time.
Man, oh yeah, I'm almost certain we are.
No, actually, I did. I did my two stories. Never mind.
You know, you did the psychedelic one. That was a good one.
Yeah, exactly. I only have two stories, so I'm good.
You good, man?
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace out.
Yes, sir.
Adios.
See you guys.